Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today's video, we're going to be looking at the Nightmare Corridor and the Cursed Realm and breaking down some of the guides that were shared over on Reddit. Now, these guides come out every single week. It is crowdsourcing information on how players are doing within different game modes, the Cursed Realm and the Nightmare Corridor in their entirety, what they're running, what collections we're seeing on there, and also old school kind of pain in the butt, but what kind of gear are they not running, which this is something older school AFK Arena that we seen a while ago, where if you remove certain gear, whether it be on the twins, whether it be orthos, years ago it had a really big factor, and it seems like it's back in a big game mode, which again I want to break down. So let's go ahead and look at these. As you can see, the Curse Realm ends in about 10 days. Wanted to cover the crowdsourcing information, so let's go ahead and take a look. All right, guys, so here we are. This big shout out to 10,000 Diamonds. This is from, again, over on Reddit with Mugen. Mugen actually posted this up. So you'll see the Cursed Realm ITER Crown Sourcing Guide 2-2, so February 2nd, which is today. You can see the credit from all of the players and the crowdsourcing that we have in here for these. And of course, the multiple bosses that are in here. So first of all, looking at the teams, now R1 essentially is the first team. It is the Awakened version of Chimera, and I love how they break this down because you can see the collections that they're using on here. And trust me, I know how much players hate collections. And if you do, it's time, if you're really committed to AFK Arena, you're going to have to suck it up. You're going to have to get the collections. It does make a big difference when you have good collections built. And even if you're running through the Ghoulish Gallery time and time again, overall, eventually you'll get built up and you'll get some collections. If not, it's just going to be garbage and you're going to have to keep going. So looking in here, we do have the Awakened version of Chimera, and it is also running the Awakened version of Iran. Now, if you do not have Iran, you can see the old school formation for this was actually running Baden in here that did incredibly well. But Iran, of course, is going to do a lot more damage. Now we have Misha in here, and we have Randy as well as Milion. You can see these are pretty consistent formations. Big difference is you can see Saurus is in here. You can also see Palmer is in here. So if you're missing some of these heroes, it is going to make a difference in the formations, but overall it's going to change. This is crowdsourcing, like I said, and this is best in slot. Then we have Panda Dump D. Overall, when it comes to the Panda, it is one of the absolute top three beasts that we are building within this game. Panda Dump D, you definitely want to build out. Then we get into R2. Now this one, again, a little bit less variation really within here. You can see Gavis, and then of course running the formation without having Gavis in the entirety. You'll also notice that Slumbering Seal is in here, but definitely being able to run heroes like Aethys and Raku. It's interesting to see because Raku is still being run. And then of course we do have Vika right down here, which is again another hero many players are not running really anywhere in AFK Arena. But if you want to be competitive within this game mode, you absolutely have to do this. Now going down, you can see Vika in this one is the big damage dealer. Now you also notice some of these collections. Now there's a lot of collections, including like Zolraz collection, that a lot of players don't focus on, but you can see there are a lot of different places within here, even looking at the Awakened version of Athalia, looking at Adrian and Elise, looking at Jerome, that Zolraz collection is being run. Now again, I know collections are kind of a pain, but running this multiple times, even just to build up that Zolraz collection, is going to make a big difference with where you're scoring within these game modes. And you also notice on the right side, only boots, only legendary boots. So again, thinking back to the old school Thor and Cheese to where we changed Grez, a lot of different heroes, including the twins, only legendary boots. Now, of course, this removing everything from the twins allows the twins essentially to take more damage. Taking more damage is going to be higher energy regeneration, which of course is going to result in attacking faster. Now, you'll also notice that the collections are built out to what they should have. Now, some of the unique ones, like right here, looking at the collection with Insight, this is a collection that is pretty interesting when you look at Iran and when you look at Baden. The Insight in here does make a big difference in how much damage the hero is putting out within the formation itself. Looking at R4, you'll notice that Scion is in here. Now, this is a hero, again, that we have seen a huge rise very fast with Scion. Even running here, Scion in here with Thorin. Now, of course, you can also see the Awakened version of Lucius being in here with Nox and also with Lan. When it comes to the Draconic heroes, honestly, Lan is probably still the #1 highest priority. When it comes to the Highborn Draconic heroes, when it comes to the regular ones, Scion is huge, falling right into that SS tier list because, of course, looking at Scion, he is being used in every single game mode, which is kind of crazy. Then, of course, we do have the Moth over here. And then, of course, Moth Not really the highest priority. Really goes slumbering seals, probably number one, then the panda, then the owl, and you'll see the owl right here, very prevalent. But this is one of the reasons why I always stress and why I push the importance of building out and having those beasts all the way to beast resonance 18, unlocking the skills and abilities for all of these beasts. As you get into 6 different game modes, it does make a really big difference. Now in here, you'll notice that Skyland is in here. Me personally, I merc a copy of Skyland. It's really the only way that I can do it. I don't have him built, but you'll also notice that Kelthon is in here. And then of course, right here, Trishea is still being run. A lot of players wonder why Trishea and the hate is still falling in there. Trishea is still being run in a lot of formations, still falling into that SS tier. Demia, of course, the triple S, really top tier. But we do have Solus in here. You have Eugene. There's a couple different heroes in here, including Nyla, that is being used within this formation. Now, interesting enough, you'll see right here, R21, there's a pretty big variance. So even running in here, the draconic version of Gwen, we have Villanelle in here making a big difference, and you can see hopping around the formation. Also using Rimuru in here, and then of course Gwen is really the driving force in here. You can do Iran down here if you do have him built. Again, if you can merc a copy, absolutely. Braun is also being used down here, but depending, like if you're running Iran, you can see the actual beast change. And even in this formation, it seems like instead of using our beast right here, it's actually going to Talisman instead of using the Fox Fatale in here. Again, you have to look at what collections are going on what heroes and what collections to build in here. And again, big shout out to 10,000 Diamonds Guild. Very, very cool to putting these together. And this, of course, is based in the Cursed Realm. Then we get over to the Nightmare Corridor, which again is kind of a different one. This is where it gets insane with being able to burst down these bosses. And you can even see here, region number 6, Diamond Hands, 1.32. You're talking 1 minute and 32 seconds to kill out all of these bosses. It's incredible how fast this is going through. And you'll notice that the boss is on the left, and then you can see where they're really coming in and what heroes we're using in different formations, making a big difference. Like I said earlier, right here is Rendell, making a huge, huge impact in here. Even Nemisu is showing up, which again is kind of crazy. Then, of course, we do have the Owl here again. We do have the Panda in here again. That is where I said consistently looking at what are the top performing beasts, getting them all the way built out to 18. Even looking, Solus is here if you need the SP effect. Thorin does show up as well as some other heroes. Naruko's in here. You have Hodgkin in here. So again, depending on which heroes you're running. Looking at our second boss, this, of course, Lavatoon is a monster when it comes in here. Then, of course, you have Rosaline. This, again, is running Vika. So we are seeing Vika in the first formation, seeing Vika in this formation. Rimuru is being run again, and then of course this is kind of changing with Jerome. We have Rain, we have Anasta, we have a couple other heroes that are used within this boss. And again, looking at Panda Dumpty making a very, very strong presence. Looking at our next boss, we do have, yup, you guessed it, Trishea and Baden still being run in here. Again, kind of crazy. Now, Aurelia is in here as well. Aurelia, of course, does require a plus 40 signature item. If you really want the hero to be competitive within the game mode, definitely has to be built out quite a bit. Twins are in here. And then, of course, we have a couple variations in here. We have Rain. We have Nevi in here. Then we get into the boss right here, which of course, the awakened version of Thane. Most players do not have Thane in the entirety. So looking at like Liberta Lucilla combination in here, even looking at Warwick in here with Crescio, there are quite a few combinations where we do not have the awakened version of Thane, which again, a lot of players do not have it built. And then of course, looking at the Ghoul. Now, something to note about this is looking at our right-hand side, you can see there are a lot of different builds. There's a lot of different collections, but look at the gear. No chest, no helmet, no chest, no gear, only boots, only boots, only boots. This is where, in my opinion, it just gets kind of stupid when you're doing this to kind of min-max and remove gear and add gear different places, depending on what is going to be triggered. This is where a lot of regular players get super confused when it comes to this game mode because it is super confusing. When you look at some heroes like Orthos that are only triggering abilities on certain heroes, some heroes have to be built up higher than other heroes. It does make a crazy kind of sense not putting gear on a hero. And again, it's kind of silly to think that you're removing all this stuff just to get them to do more damage within formations or the formations to work correctly. But looking down here, very limited with this one. We do have the awakened version of Sophia. Thorin is in here. We have Gavus, but of course, Athalia. When it comes to still the two biggest heroes in AFK Arena, we have Libirda and we have the awakened version of Athalia being run in everything. And then, of course, we have the final boss right here, which is Scion and Zora. So two of the newest heroes that we have to AFK Arena. Then we're running Demia in here. Interesting enough, you'll notice Demia does not have Mahira's collection because, again, this game mode is not about survivability. This game mode is about absolute damage and raw damage putting out, how much damage they can put out. And you'll also notice Aurelia is here as the beast itself. There's a couple other different formations in here, depending on exactly who you have within here. So I love the guides, wanted to cover these. I will put links down below so you guys can definitely check them out. And again, when it comes to building these out and knowing exactly what to do in the different game modes, collections are the key. Not only going in, and honestly, I probably want to build up Vika a little bit higher, just for the simple fact that this hero is kind of broke. I believe I have her at like a 41. So I have a 41 signature item. Now thinking of this, energy reduction is increased. I know that's not going to make a big difference, but overall, adding more stats, adding more ability, adding more to Vika in general, it seems like a couple of these heroes are just crazy kind of breakout heroes. You know, we haven't seen the hero really doing anything within towers, a lot of different places, until we get into certain game modes, and then the hero absolutely goes best in slot. Now, of course, we know there's more heroes that are coming down the pipeline, and we know that the mother of Scion should be the Highborn Draconic hero. That is going to be up on the test server, so definitely got to save for that coming up. But overall, I'm still working on and trying to build out land in the entirety. Every single emblem or insignia that goes into that is looking to build out land, so we still have a lot more, hoping that they adjust it in the future. But all right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and as always, thank you guys for watching.